I didn't show it because I figured you might want it. Yeah. Yeah. I hadn't looked it up or priced or anything, but I was like, I better show that to Laura before I sell it. Uh, okay. Yeah, I'll let you know. That's why I didn't show it. All right, everybody. I think I hit start stream. Yeah, I have. Good. All right, let's get this show on the road. It's going to make me log back in. Let's go over here to... Vlodder Hey, while I got the Vlodder checks on, I need to ask y'all, I need to confirm. Actually, I'll just send you a message like I have everybody else. I think I wanted to make sure I got the first, the right Chevy Chase photo for y'all, Mr. Vlodder. Here, I'll message to you right now on Facebook Messenger through Chad.
No, not this week.
Let's do it next weekend.
Okay.
You're good for that? Okay. Yeah, I was wanting all this out before then, but that's okay. I mean, it'll give us time to advertise, and
Yeah, if you can advertise that.
I can tell customers every night now. Yeah, it'll get John more stuff out, but and then we'll discuss about having it inside the store, but we really just need to have it outside. All right, where's that photo at? All right. I think you're one of the last people. I just handed Ed the people that I don't have access to. I'm also just now saying I like turtles. I'm bad about not opening messages, as y'all know. All right. Oh, guys and gals, I got blue juice tonight. Everybody's probably like, what? What? Let's see here. 5 crates, Japanese. 186. $80 sheet music bundle and Garth Brooks for $8. Okay. All right, so let's go over here. 'Yeah, do I have a set? I need to copy and paste that track listing. Golly, it's a lot though. Once there was a way to get back home. Bang, bang, Maxwell Silver Hammer. No. Let me do this right now. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Group. You did hear Blue Juice. Sorry, I'm sharing links right now. I'm doing it in silence. I'm doing it in silence so I can get it done a lot faster. So just bear with me. Man, last night flew by. Last night flew by, and then like last night after the sale flew by. It's like I feel like I was just here. Anybody else have that feeling? Boom, bam, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum. Top fans. All right. Boom, bam, ba, dum, bum, bum. I can't fight this feeling anymore. I forgot what Why Steak live in the still of the night? I have no idea, but I can check on it for you if somebody will make me a note. Oh yeah. Great neck adjustment. Facebook Live, YouTube, and now our Insta story. Hi, Chad, Laura, Paul, Ted, Edgerton, and Seth. You forgot about G, Jack, Jill, Steve, Caden, Julie, Tony. Don't forget about Tony. He's here right now. And tonight, guest host, Sir Elton John. He's in the building. Dang it, the music's still playing in the store. Let me go turn that off. All right, welcome everybody to Coletco. So first thing I'm going to do is take my keys and wallet back up front because I have a bad habit about laying them back here. Then they fall down in a crate, and then I don't know who I am anymore. The Batman theme song's playing. That's playing in the store right now over our PA system, so I'm going to mute that. The Batman theme, what a classic. Muted, paused. Okay. What else do I need while I'm up here? I got something to say. Oh yeah, those guitar picks. Let me get those up here. I better grab some sleeves to put those in too. I think I'm going to sell all these except the Tom Petty's tonight because I still don't have those researched. So I probably need to go ahead and apologize right now to Guy Shard, who I told we may have the Tom Petty picks, but honestly, they have been put somewhere in where I'm like, oh crap, where are they? That's why I got to go ahead and sell them. Really small, valuable stuff, I try to sell ASAP, otherwise I lose it. But I was going through a box last night, or 2 nights ago, and I found all these. And they're all really good guitar picks, like Skid Row there. So I'm going to try to auction those tonight. I got to find something. I got to get some baseball card top loaders to put them in, though. So there's that. This is 626. Yep, let me change the title up top. That's the last thing I forgot to do. And I got to take the SD card thing off. Go away. Hold on a second. Okay, there's that. And then let me update the date over here. Okay. That should knock it out. Boom. Oh no. Remind me later. What have I done? Streamlabs. There we go. I just want this green bar off the screen, please. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Everybody can hear me, right? We're good. And that's shared. Let's pull up today's video. Cracker Barrel just released a press statement. They're keeping their old logo. I clicked on Facebook to open up my video. That's the first thing 6 minutes ago. They have said we're not changing our logo. Golly. That only cost them $200 billion or $200 million. That's crazy. All right. All that, they blew a lot of money right then. It'll take them years to recover from that financially. Okay. Over here, let's open up this video right here. The shipping department is absolutely killing it. They are back there right now just completely destroying packages in a good way. In a good way. All right, let's put up and let's get started. Let's see. Mr. Elvin Jones, you can go right there for a second. Here is the flip video. Tanner hadn't pulled it yet. That's sad. I'll lay it over here next to his little desk. Tanner's little desk. There's that. And did anybody claim an acid bath before I even bring this crate over here? No. No acid baths were claimed. Okay, so we don't even need to go through that crate. We just need to go through this crate. All right. Welcome to Collectco. We're going to get started by getting these puzzles off the table, which some of them did sell. We have the Trooper, we have Power Slave, and we got Captain Fantastic. The first claim for the first puzzle was Blaine Zapnick. He was the first commenter this morning. Mr. Blaine says, Chad, I'll take an Elton John Captain Fantastic puzzle. And I said, you got it. It's sold to you faster than lickety split. And here it is. So let's sell this to Blaine Zapnick. This is $24.99. Chad, you know anything about the Kiss and AC/DC release this week? Do I know anything about the Kiss and AC/DC release this week? To my knowledge, Kiss and AC/DC is not releasing any new material this week. Okay, so Blaine got the Captain Fantastic puzzle. The other puzzle was Fred W, which is Walensky, Vlodarski. That is sold to Fred W. That is WOLCZOWSKI. That's sold to him. He's probably watching right now like going, God, like, good Lord. All right, he got that one. He also got Power Slave, Fred W. And he also got Stranger in a Strange Land. Okay? So those are sold. And the only two puzzles I have left, never mind. Scott Markheim wants Iron Maiden Power Slave. We got to put him on a wait list. He wants a Stranger in a Strange Land. And Scott Markheim wants a Trooper. Okay? So that means there's one waiting list for one puzzle. And that's Scott Markheim Power Slave. Scott, you're on a waiting list for that one, okay? This is the Trooper and Iron Maiden Stranger in a Strange Land. Okay? That's the only two puzzles I have left so far tonight. Pretty cool stuff there. I'm actually going to take Black Sabbath, and I'm going to put Black Sabbath down here. And I'm going to put the Trooper back here, because it's such amazing artwork. And I'm actually going to take the Metallica puzzle off the board. And I'm going to put Stranger in a Strange Land back there. Now we got 3 Iron Maiden puzzles. And here comes Ed with a big stack of puzzles. You got it. Is that all from that one person? Oh, no. Okay. Let me just stack them right here.
There's Iron Maiden in here.
Okay. Thank you. We unfortunately had a putback of about 20 puzzles from somebody. So we got a lot of puzzles. There's a couple people who got excited when we brought back these puzzles, about 2 months ago. I had some people said, Chad, I'll take one of every one of them. And when I hear somebody say, I'll take one of every one of them, that's not good, because it's like people, they'll say, I'll take one of all of the Metallica albums. And I'm like, do you realize how many albums Metallica has? Okay, I think they maybe think like Metallica has 2 or 3 albums. Then they'll get an invoice and like, holy crap, $1,800, you know. And we had a couple of people say, I'll take one of all of your puzzles. And they were regular customers, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And they got their invoice, and they was like, I've got a major problem. I had no idea you had 78 puzzles. So, okay, anyway. First thing we're going to do is this right here, but we got it worked out. Very unfortunate, though, so please don't ever do that. We have, first, a new auction. We got to get started over auctions right now. I have Japanese. I have, going up right now, The Pretenders, Learning to Crawl. The Pretenders, Learning to Crawl. This is going to go up for a $25 start. It's a Japanese pressing, $25 start. This is The Pretenders. Japanese pressing, near mint minus and pristine. Insert, cover, and obi. 25. I thought I had just reduced our puzzle inventory. That's why I made a post today. I had 2 big stacks. We sold about a whole stack. And I was like, okay, this is manageable. And now I've got, golly, we've got a ton all of a sudden now. So I don't like having stuff in stock. I like selling it, selling out, ordering it, selling out, ordering a few more, selling those, ordering a few more. I hate having 1,000 things of something. So, but we'll eventually sell them. As y'all see, puzzles sell very easily, but that's okay. No big deal, even though it was a big deal. Okay, and then what was the other question? What was the one? That is Stranger in a Strange Land. That's my last one of that one. It is $24.99. Yep, this is sold to Janet Gray. Okay, so that one's sold. And now I'm going to put Whiplash back up here. So the only ones I have back here right now are Whiplash, Fear of the Dark, and The Trooper. And what I'll do is I will show the puzzles here just a second, what I have left in stock, plus all the putbacks. Puzzles 2 for deal. No, I'll pass on that, but thanks for asking. We have Stevie Nicks, Belladonna. I usually only start discounting stuff when they're not selling. These are very much selling. We have Stevie Nicks, Belladonna, the new Rhino Hi-Fi, all analog by Kevin Gray. This is sold to Clifford Umstead. Thank you, Clifford. That's sold to you. And then there was another one. Jimmy Ball wants a Stevie Nicks Belladonna. Thank you. And then we have Troy Robinson on a Stevie Nicks Belladonna. Thank you. The Pretenders has one bid for $25 of Robbie Woods. That's going once, going twice. Our next Japanese pressing for a $25 start. Doing a couple here at $25 earlier than normal, probably $35. We have Bruce Springsteen, $25 start. Will you be ordering the Def Leppard mini guitars? To my knowledge, they do not have any Def Leppard mini guitars, unless that's something that's like coming out that's new. All right, so there's Bruce Springsteen. So I'm down to 2 Stevie Nicks Belladonna. Clifford Umstead got one. The other one went to Jimmy Ball. The other one went to Troy Robinson. That was 3. There's 2 left, okay? And then the other one was the new Motorhead release, also for this Friday. Motorhead is No Sleep Till Hammersmith. That is $36.99. Yellow and black, colored vinyl. That is sold to Jen Cast. Thank you, Jen Cast. That's sold to you. We also have one here for Scott Smith. Thank you, Scott Smith. That's sold to you. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 on that. Tim, I'll check on that. There's 2 things I've been seeing on Facebook a lot of. There are Funkos that don't exist, that's spam, essentially. and we get sent screenshots all the time. When Ozzy died, there was a big Funko circulating around. It was Ozzy, like he's sitting in the throne, like from the tribute show. And that's a fake deal. So people were buying those, sending money, and then, of course, they never get sent the Funko. And I'm also seeing that for vinyl. I'm starting to see that for vinyl that don't exist. And I'm also starting to see it for, like, toys and collectibles. It's like basically AI-generated stuff. These fake companies post it, they take it, quote, as a pre-order, and it's not really real merchandise. But I've seen that a lot for Funkos. We get sent Funkos all the time, and I'm like, this is not real. This is AI-generated, and this is a Chinese company just taking your money. So be careful on that. All right. Also got Blue Juice tonight. So I got Motorhead, and then the other one that had a lot of claims. This is all the new stuff from last night. This is stuff I posted this morning. Clifford Umstead wanted a Tango in the Night. Thank you, Clifford Umstead. And then also on a Fleetwood Mac is Joy Fino. Joy Fino on a Fleetwood Mac. And then Darren Wortman on a Fleetwood Mac, okay? Philip Hope wants a Stevie Nicks Rhino High Fidelity Series. The first auction that I sold for $25. And that's sold to Robbie Woods. That's the Pretenders, Learning to Crawl. Back on the Chain Gang. Did I see a claim just a second ago for some Acid Bass? I think it was Michael Rudolph. Let me scroll up a little bit. Michael Rudolph said, I think, Chad, I need an Acid Bath, not the one with the clown, okay? Michael Rudolph needs the pagan rituals, pagan terrorism tactics. That's sold to Michael Rudolph, okay? Thank you on that. And then Final Call on Bruce Springsteen for $25. $25 on that. And then the next thing is that last Etta James, which is the second time around, orange vinyl, all analog. Etta James is $34.99. Wow, that's amazing. That's all that's left yesterday from all the new vinyl. And then there's 4 more crates over here next to me. I'm about to get started into those as soon as we get done with this recap. And I think the Phil Collins is real. Now, Brian, the Kiss I ordered, those actually might be here tonight. Those roots of AC/DC and Kiss, I usually don't order those because they're misleading. Sometimes it's not actually even Kiss or AC/DC. They're weird, okay? You really got to read into them to make sure you know what you're getting. And then Dokken I've ordered. I just don't know when they're going to be in, okay? Volume 4 is $33.99, new and sealed. Okay, what was I about to do? I got to go grab a box of sleeves. I pulled him a Acid Bath. I think there's a box of sleeves. Come on through. You can actually park it like right here. This is where I've been parking it.
Okay, it's all New Orleans.
All New Orleans.
Yep, every bit of it.
Wow. Even Stones and Meatloaf.
Yep.
Awesome.
A lot of weird stuff in there.
I just blocked this area off. Just enough for, yeah, there we go. I'm going to grab this box of sleeves over here. John's Prost, all New Orleans. They're going to actually be pretty glad to hear that. All right, there's this. I'm going to grab this gigantic box of sleeves. Oh my gosh. I've went through a whole 1,000-count box of sleeves in probably a month, sleeving auctions and doing stuff like that. So there's some, and I got to put the Pretenders away. All right, there's that. Okay, Jerry Stone wants the Etta James. There's this. And Etta James, so did Jerry Stone. Brian, don't ever pre-order anywhere else. What is wrong with you? Always pre-order with Coletco. Bruce Springsteen, Born in USA. This is a buy it now for $25. Always pre-order with Coletco. How dare you? Bruce Springsteen, $25 buy it now. Japanese pressing, no bid. I have a whole crate of bonus auctions tonight up front too. Trying to knock out these first few Japanese. And here's the next one. The very, very cool Beatles 62 to 66. This is going to go up for a $25 start. This is the Beatles 62 to 66. Is there any more Black Sabbath 13 Vertigo? Honestly, I don't think so. There's LP number 1. There's LP number 2. There's LP number 2. There's this. There's this. There's this. And there's this. $25 start. Was it all you got to do is ask, Chad, I want to order docking. Pre-order will be posted in less than 24 hours. Chad, you get my message from Ed? Yes, I did. All right. And so I don't think I've missed anything. Time for that second crate right over here. So those left. Usually if somebody messages Ed about a pre-order and he shares it with me, I'll have it up in less than 24 hours. Or you can just ask him or Laura and it's automatically ordered. They'll tell you a price. Boom, it's ordered. They write down your name when they order it. That's why Etta James is right here. This is the second time around. This is all analog Kevin Gray, the Jackpot label, orange vinyl, $34.99. So here's how simple the pre-order process is. You tell Ed, or sometimes even Laura, what you want. They'll order it, and then like here in a minute, we got crates, and it's already got people's names on them. Boom. It don't actually have to even be up in a whole lot of records. You just say, hey, I want to order. Because most people want to get it all from us because the $8 shipping, it all comes in, you're billed, it all gets shipped together with everything else. Poof. Easy process. Yeah, this is the second time around Jackpot. It's all analog. And I thought those were done, but I'm glad to have them. $25 start on that. Has everybody hit the like button on Facebook? Let's go ahead and show one of the first auctions Laura has tagged over here, which I'm going to go ahead and throw open AC/DC, Flick of the Switch. AC/DC is an 83 Allied Original, VG condition, has an embossed cover here. A little bit of a ding on the cover, $15 start on that. Etta James is sold to Jerry Stone. Thank you on that. All right, so Cosmos Factory. We sold a lot out of the video this morning. CCR Cosmos Factory. This one did sell to Jimmy Ball. That's on red vinyl, Craft Recordings. Thank you, Jimmy Ball. That's sold to you. I still got one copy of the Misfits collection. I Got Something to Say, Last Caress, $34.99. The Misfits collection. The Cramps, Big Beat from Badsville. The Cramps is $29.99. Big Beats from Badsville. Brian calls in on AC/DC. Wow, a nice Japanese 6266, $25 start on this one. It does have a corner ding, but man, no bid right now. Final call on that. We have one copy left of Bad Religion Suffer. Bad Religion is $29.99. And we have Men at Work, their Ultimate Collection. This is $29.99. Men at Work, their Ultimate Collection. We have 13.4 elevators. In mono, a half-speed master, $34.99. And I have Stranger Things, music from seasons 1 and 2. Mark White wanted one of these. There's one sold to Mark White. And I think somebody else claimed one too. No, that was the only one. So we do have one Stranger Things left. Jeremy Rourke said he bid $25 on the Beatles, okay? And there is also a claim from Stanley Richmond on Bruce Springsteen. Okay, still want 2 Billy Joels. I got those right here behind me, Brian. I have those right here behind me. I just found them last night. There is crate number 1 of new vinyl, already full tonight. Of course, those puzzles really expedited that. Let me set these over here. Black Sabbath, $33.99. Stanley got Bruce. Boy, I almost missed some stuff. Brian bid 26 on the Beatles. So Brian called, bid 26 on the Beatles. Chris Gardner bid 16. What I'm doing is I'm still looking at 2 phones right now, so I'm still missing stuff. I am still missing stuff. That's because I'm still trying to look at 2 phones. It goes a lot smoother after I get all this stuff tagged. I'm looking at my phone from the video. I'm looking at the live feed. Blah, 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 blah. Tom Sullivan on 13.4 elevators. Now the Beatles is at 30. We have Cramps, A Date with Elvis. That one's $29.99. Morbid Angel, Utopia Banished. Morbid Angel's $38.99. Somebody did ask for Black Sabbath 13. They never did say sold, or I should say Black Sabbath Volume 4. Who asked about that? This was asked about David Pitts. David Pitts said Volume 4. Now, he didn't say anything because he probably thought it was an OG copy. A lot of these people say, holy crap, they have a Volume 4 for sale. And then they find out it's new and sealed, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And of course, if we do have an OG copy, it's going to be auctioned. And here lately, those have been bringing crazy money in any condition, it seems like. We have the Black Keys. This is No Rain, No Flowers. That's on red vinyl for $33.99. But if you do want an awesome sounding remastered, That is a good one there, 34. That one has not been done by Rhino yet. That will be a big one whenever they do it. We have Slayer, South of Heaven for 34. Pantera is 33, Far Beyond Driven. And then Napalm Death, From Enslavement to Obliteration. That's $38.99. Top Gun is Soda Joy Pheno. I now have one left, $29.99. The Beatles is at $35 with Jeremy Rourke. That's usually what I start these things at. Michael Hamburger has also bid $35. And then AC/DC's at $18 with Brian Call. That means somebody's been outbid, Chris Gardner. Chris, it's back to you on AC/DC. I have U2, and this is a live unofficial, and this one is sold to Travis Woods. Thank you, Travis. That is sold to you. Let's put that away for him. If anybody else wants one, they're $24.99. It will be a waiting list. Coldplay is $34. Viva La Vida Coldplay Parachutes, also $34. Billy Idol, and somebody wanted one each of these. This first one here is called Whiplash Smiles. Okay, Whiplash Smiles. And the first one here, what happened to that comment? I know I'm not crazy. Somebody said, I'll take one each of the, what the heck? There it is, Jimmy Ball, Billy Idol, both offerings. Jimmy Ball gets a Billy Idol. Thank you, Jimmy Ball. And I have two left. Janet Gray on Parachute. That's with the song Yellow. That's so to Janet Gray. We have the Sisters of Mercy live. She Got Red Eyes, live in England, 1983, $29.99. And then there's the other Billy Idol, and that's also sold to Jimmy Ball. Thank you, Jimmy Ball. Also, we have Kenny Chesney, first time ever on vinyl, The Road and the Radio, $29.99. I actually listened to a couple of those songs on there. I was like, oh, I know that one. Living and Fast Forward. I've heard that a million times. That was my best impression of Kenny Chesney, by the way. So we have next, we have Everything from the Video Got Claimed. AC/DC's at 23, the Beatles is at 37, and that's where we're at. And we have what to put up next? I got Ace Frehley, New York Groove. Here it is. It's probably about VG Plus. It hadn't been cleaned, and that is going to go up for a $7 start. Ace Frehley, the New York Groove. Troy Overmeyer wants to Cramps, A Date with Elvis. Thank you on that one. Thank you, Troy Overmeyer, and let's read these again, okay? Let's read these again. My friend Moose loves some Kenny Chesney. But when he ranked stuff the other day, he had like Black Sabbath songs, then he had Kenny Chesney songs on the same list. And I was like, dude, you got to keep those lists separate, okay? Nothing against Kenny Chesney, but there's no way you're ranking Kenny Chesney songs up there with Black Sabbath music. I'm sorry. There's just no way. We have Misfits, $34.99. The Cramps, Big Beat from Badsville. I was like, you need a country list and a rock list, okay? You can't be, there's no way you can have like a Kenny Chesney song and then right below it you have like Snowblind. I was like, that doesn't even make sense. We have Bad Religion Suffer, $29.99. Men at Work, $29.99. My eyes are blind, but I can see. Probably because they were doing some cocaine. We have Janet Gray on Misfits. Thank you on that. So there's Cramps, there's Bad Religion, Men at Work. One Stranger Things left. I started rewatching season 1 about 2 months ago, and I was like, I want to time it. I stopped. I was like, I want to time it where as soon as I'm done, the new one starts. So I kind of stopped, and I think I'm going to restart again another time. But oh man, I can get too deep into that show. We have Napalm Death, $38.99. The New Black Keys still available, $33. Slayer's $34. Pantera, Napalm Death, Top Gun. There's Coldplay again. Also Coldplay, Billy Idol, Sisters of Mercy, Billy Idol, and Kenny Chesney. Okay, the Beatles at 40. The last bid on AC/DC was 23. And over here, who had it? It was Brian Call at 23. Brian, that's sold to you for $23. Thank you on that one. If anybody wants Ace Frehley, it's in the wrong sleeve. It's in a Columbia sleeve, but $7 on that. $7 on Ace Frehley, New York Groove. And then the Beatles over here, Michael Hamburger has this for $40. $40 on this, okay? Jeremy Rourke got Ace. We have not really advertised or sold any featured auctions yet tonight. None whatsoever. All right, just getting started because we're about to get into our new stuff right now. Jeremy said, I bet on Ace. Okay, I'm not going to miss any more bids because my phone with all the comments is going away. I no longer need this anymore. And I'm looking at 2 screens and I'm scrolling through here looking for comments and it's over here on my other phone. It's just hard to do that. I'm going to let Scott No, he's on a waiting list for Power Slave, and we are Power Slave. Okay, there's that. All right, so now I'm not going to miss another bid for the rest of the night because now I'm just down to one monitor. I'm going to take, I was dual monitoring there. That's tough on my brain to be reading and pulling. And I'm about to bring out the other crate of VHS tonight. Okay, we got Tanner has went through our autograph vault. And all day he has been doing nothing but boarding, bagging autographs and matching the JSA cards with them. Something I've been trying to do for about 25 years, which is most of my life. And I still hadn't done it. No, I'm just joking. Been trying to do it for about a year. But he's got that done, so I might bring out some of those tonight. Jeremy Rourke's out on the Beatles. This soda Michael hamburger for $40. Here we go. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in early tonight, even though it's about that time to really get into the beef of the show. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I'm about to show some of these other puzzles, and we're about to go into our newest new vinyl, okay? Should have quite a bit of vinyl all week, even on Friday when Paul's doing the show. Should be quite a bit of vinyl, okay? Should be quite a bit of new vinyl. I ordered a bunch more last night, this night, next night, tomorrow night, last night, Thursday night, Friday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What's in this crate right here? Got it. I'm going to need my laptop for some waiting list. And let's grab this first thingamaroo here. Yeah, let's grab this thingamaroo right here. You leaving, John? Heading out. Thank you. All right, here we go. Let's do this. And, oh yeah, some cool stuff in here. All right, a lot of waiting list and restocks. Here we go. Next thing we got is another AC/DC album. For those about the rock, Fire, we salute. It's actually VG minus, but it is OG. For those about the rock, AC/DC, VG minus, $5 start on that, okay? There's that. I am very much looking forward. I do have blue juice tonight, so I could be dangerous. That's probably why I'm already talking kind of fast. I do have a monster in the freezer, and I do have a Japanese pressing to put up. And that is a Japanese pressing of Culture Club, color by numbers. It's going to go up for a $25 start. The vinyl is near mint minus and pristine. This has their big hit Karma Camellia on it. There's one, there's two, there's three, and there's the cover and Obi. All right, let me see. Did I bring my laptop back here? I didn't. Let me go ahead and show you a couple puzzles because I got to move them out of the way. There's first on top, King Diamond, Iron Maiden, and I think Iron Maiden. John's already delivered 5 crates of new arrivals. Laura's working on stuff right now. 4 crates of new vinyl. When we're done with all those goodies, we'll get right into more miscellaneous stuff tonight. It's not to clean up the store before it's open back to the public. And the one thing about being open to the public tomorrow is there's a lot of stuff that's got to be put away. I've made messes, and that's my job tonight to clean all that up. So that's like a good 2 or 3 hours. So I better get going so we can have plenty of time to do that tonight. Right, everybody? All right. So right now, there are 4 active Iron Maiden puzzles. 2 you can see in the back at the top of your screen. Fear the Dark and the Trooper. Those are the ones in the back you can see at the top. And then right here on the table, I'm about to show them to you. These are all from the putback, unfortunately. The big putback. The big sting. All right, let me cancel that. Let me minimize this. Let me cancel that. Let me minimize this. Let me save this. Let me close out of that. Let me open up this waiting list, and here we go. All right, so I have puzzles. I have King Diamond Abigail. I've got Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time, and I got Iron Maiden Killers. These are all 500-piece puzzle. Killers, Somewhere in Time, and Abigail, okay? And then back there in the back right now is Whiplash, Fear of the Dark, and Trooper. Where should I stack these at? Let me stack them right there. Awesome. All right. First thing was a waiting list on Wu-Tang. The Essential Wu-Tang Clan is a double LP, $36.99. Whiplash puzzle is sold to Corey James for $24.99. Thank you. That was my last one of those. Wu-Tang was, I think, Nick Bargeron. It was. Nick Bargeron on Wu-Tang Clan. Thank you, Laura. Wu-Tang is sold to Nick Bargeron. He was on a waiting list. This is a 2 LP. It's essential. This is 20 years of Wu, 20 hip-hop classics. That is $36.99. Protect your neck. $36.99. So over here, first thing is AC/DC has one bid for $5. Culture Club has one bid for $25. Final call. 2 Wu-Tangs are left. Also, Alicia Keys, songs in A minor. This is $39.99. All the puzzles are $24.99. Every one of them, $24.99. There's another Iron Maiden going right back there somewhere in time. $24.99. Same price for Fear the Dark, same price for the Trooper, and same price for Whiplash I just sold. AC/DC is OG, but it is VG minus. We have Alicia Keys for $39.99. That's sold to Janet Gray. I have one left. Haven't had that in a while. And then this was a crazy clearance deal from one of my distributors. It's House of Pain, Fine Malt Lyrics. Just $19.99, including Jump Around. And there was a waiting list, and I'm as glad I was able to get more. House of Pain, the waiting list for this was Scott Dwallow, John Durden, Amanda Darby, Janet Gray, Brandon Jones, Joe DeGaldo, and Bob Riger. That's 7 people. Scott Dwallow, John Durden, Amanda Darby, Janet Gray, Brandon Jones, Joe DeGaldo, and Bob Riger. So House of Pain, just $19.99. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They must have made a lot of these or something. They must have overstocked them or something. So that's what happens. Courtney Duncan on the other Alicia Keys. Brian Campbell does want the Somewhere in Time puzzle. That's so to Brian Campbell. Thank you. And then also on the House of Pain is James Lavender, Slayer Nation. And we have Janet Gray wants another one. So 2 for Janet Gray. I've got 2 House of Pains left. Also, $25 is Culture Club. That's so to Courtney Duncan. Let's put that in a brand new sleeve for Courtney. Thank you on that. House of Pains are selling like hotcakes. Dun, dun, dun. Round. Round. I know that probably sounds like a cat, but that's the sound it makes. That's another one sold to John Durden. And then what about AC/DC? Philip has it for $12. Darren Chrisman, it's up to you, okay? 1 House of Pain remaining. Next auction is another Japanese pressing, and that is Billy Joel and Innocent Man. Mr. Joel is going to go up for a $25 start in shrink with Obi. $25 start. Vinyl is near mint minus and pristine. There's this, there's that, there's this, there's that, and there's that. Okay, I've got 2 copies of Eric B. and Rakim paid in full, $39.99. Haven't had that in a while. Tim Turner wants House of Pain. Let's go ahead and start another waiting list. These will be in by Friday. If you go on a waiting list tonight, I definitely want to go ahead and order more while they're as cheap as I can get them, where I can still make something on them, and y'all can have them for $19.99. That's pretty crazy. That used to be like $36. That's pretty crazy for new vinyl from distribution to be marked that cheap. Eric B. is sold to Mega Blast and Kevin Dolkin. I think y'all can see the theme here. I went into some hip-hop and stuff that I typically don't order, and so far we have almost sold out of everything. Next thing is Metallica and Justice for All. These are puzzles. Metallica puzzles, $24.99. Metallica Kill 'Em All puzzles, $24.99. And Live After Death is $24.99. So I've got a Justice for All, Kill 'Em All, and Live After Death. Those are $24.99. There's 3 more puzzles for you. Next thing, if anybody else wants on a waiting list for Eric B. and Rakim, just let me know. There's that. Also, I got 2 copies of the 13-4 elevators. This is the best of the psychedelic 13-4 elevators. $29.99. It is available. I've got 2 of them. Also, I've got 2 copies of Hannah Montana 3. That is on blue and pink splatter, $36.99. If anybody wants Billy Joel, I'll put that up for a $25 buy it now. Near mint, shrink, Obi inserts, $25 buy it now for Mr. Joel. Mr. Joel, this is $25 buy it now, okay? AC/DC's at 16 with Philip Hope. Corey James wants to Kill 'Em All puzzle. Jump in the fire. That is sold to Corey James. There's 2 Hannah Montana for just $36.99. All right, the Harry Potter soundtracks. This is right here. This is $39.99. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. So they've reissued the Harry Potter soundtracks for these last films, and this time indie exclusive clear vinyl. And I have a wait list for all of them for Stacy Brown. So Stacy, that one's sold to you. One came in last week. There's the other one. That's the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And I have only one copy of Alice Cooper Love of the Death. Only one. It's numbered, and that is the Rhino Hi-Fi series, $39.99. AC/DC's at $16, and we can go ahead and sell that to Philip Holt. Let's go ahead and sell that to Philip Holt for $16. Topographic gets Billy Joel for $20. And Laura is very much tempted to buy Hannah Montana. Yeah, that I saw that. And then there's a couple others, but I didn't know which one to get. I thought, well, I figured if somebody's buying one Hannah Montana, they're probably going to be buying all of the Hannah Montanas. Next thing is another auction, and this is George Strait's Greatest Hits. This is an 85 USOG club copy, VG Plus condition, George Strait's Greatest Hits, $15 start. I've got New Kids on the Block. That's called Step by Step. First time on vinyl in 35 years, $29.99, and 2 copies of Tarzan soundtrack. That is $36.99. That is Tarzan. So Tarzan, New Kids on the Block, Hannah Montana, Alice Cooper, Harry Potter, 13-4 Elevators, Wu-Tang Clan. Some of the first titles there offered tonight. I've only got a couple Japanese left from last night, and let's go ahead and do the next to last one. And that is Staying Alive. This is the Staying Alive soundtrack. This is a $25 start. The vinyl's near mint minus and pristine. It has cover and OB and the insert. $25 start on that. James Lavender on New Kids on the Block. There's that. And I'm going to show you a few more puzzles. The next 3 puzzles I have for you are Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I've got Megadeth, Peace Sells But Who's Buying? And Megadeth, Rust in Peace. So Iron Maiden, Seventh Son. I've also got Megadeth and Megadeth. Those are $24.99. Those are jigsaw puzzles. Jigsaw puzzles. Ziggy Chaos, he's watching from over the big pond in the United Kingdom. He gets a 13-4 Elevators. Thank you for that. I have one left. I've also got another Harry Potter. This is the Half-Blood Prince. That one's also sold to Stacy Brown. There's one left now if anybody wants it. And I've got 3 copies here of Everclear. Now this is $59.99. It's from Intervention Records, first ever time on vinyl, so this is the OG. This is the OG of this release, first time ever on vinyl, even though it was 25 years old when it was finally pressed on vinyl. It's on Coke Bottle Clear, $59.99. There's a waiting list for this, and I think it's the Vladarcheks. I think it's the Vladarcheks. Everclear. This one is called Songs from American Movie. And Vladarchek's on a waiting list because we had that for auction the other night. We had another one on an auction the other night. Yeah. So this got pricey at auction the other night. And the reason this is $59.99, it's from an audiophile label. It's from Intervention Records. It's 100% all analog by Kevin Gray. It's pressed at Gotta Groove Records, gatefold jacket. So yeah, you're getting top notch there on that one. We got a Staying Alive bid for $25. Wow, no bid on George Strait, looking for a $15 start. And James, your last name is Kika, K-I-C-A. Have I sold to you before? You do want the Rust and Peace puzzle, right? Yeah, you do want the Rust and Peace puzzle. Here it is here. Rust and Peace. So James Kika. I think the one you got, Brandon, was a different color. I think you got a maybe even a numbered copy. So I think the one you got was like on orange or yellow vinyl, to be exact. I think that's why that one was demanding a little bit more money. I have to go back and look, but I think that was the deal. I think it was like maybe even like an exclusive to somewhere. Disturbed is because I know it's not on clear. It was like on orange or yellow, I think. So that might have been the difference. Disturbed is green vinyl. 33 yellow. Yeah, I think it was like maybe the first run they did, or maybe even an exclusive to somewhere. Disturbed is $33.99. There was a waiting list for Down with the Sickness. And this is sold to James Young. Thank you, James Young. He was on a waiting list, and I have 2 left. All right. Will you run the AC/DCs? Well, we've already sold one. Oh, you're probably talking about the Australian stuff, though, right? Give me 1 second on that one. Courtney Duncan wants to put back Alicia Keys. Let me find that in here. let's see. That is right here. So I have one Alicia Keys left if anybody wants it. Songs in A minor, $39.99. And then over here we have James Hicks Getting Staying Alive for $25. Thank you on that. And wow, George Strait can be picked up for a $15 buy it now. $15 buy it now on that one. And then Mr. Kika, are you a first-time buyer? Alice Cooper is right here, and this is so to James Young. We'll say the AC/DC Australian. We'll say 8 o'clock sharp on those. Okay, we'll say 8 o'clock on those. And Johnny Hancock says he'll pick up George Strait and then Stephen Free. And I have already filled up another crate of vinyl. So let me swap out vinyl. Let me swap out crates. And let's bring over some more puzzles. Y'all are really helping me out by knocking the rest of these out. Fantastical, magical, wonderful. I got a few guitar picks over here to run. Here's probably a pretty dang good one here. Let me find where it flipped over. Let's see here. I got a bunch over here actually. Let's do, where's that Skid Row one at? That was probably one of the coolest ones I've seen in here, but man, there's a lot, there's more than this, that. Let's see here. I got to get some sticky notes for these so we don't lose them. I think there's a lot from Kid Rock's band here. Yeah, this one looks pretty cool. Look at this Skid Row guitar pick. Skid Row. Original guitar pick. This all came from that Kevin Cave of Rock collection. Sometimes he's watching. I don't know if he is right now. But Kevin, he might can share some information. This is a Skid Row guitar pick. Knowing Kevin and the hundreds, if not thousands, of concerts he went to, it looks like it was played and it was probably flicked out into the crowd. So Skid Row, that's going to go up for a $10 start. That's now up for bid. And then James is not a first-time buyer. 8 o'clock sharp on the AC/DCs. Waiting list for Everclear. I still got them in stock. Everclear is still available for $59.99. Okay, and then I have Iron Maiden Killers, and there was a waiting list for that. Iron Maiden Killers is $33.99. Iron Maiden Killers, Brandon Jones and Darren Chrisman. Brandon Jones and Darren Chrisman. There's those two. Brandon Jones and Darren Chrisman. There's 2 Iron Maidens left. Our next auction is going to be the Scorpions Worldwide Live. The Scorpions is an 85 USPRC Richmond original with the original under sleeves. VG Plus, that's a $15 start. Skid Row is a $10 start. Patty's in, and so is Slayer Nation 1, and so is Ziggy Chaos. I got some cool guitar picks over here. I don't know if y'all seen them earlier, but I had literally like a whole handful, all from Kevin, who, like I said, probably got them at concerts. He went to so many. You should have seen all the posters and ticket stubs this guy had. Plus, he had a basement with about 15,000 albums when we first got there. He was that guy that in the 90s, he was going to his local record shop in, I think, Birmingham, Alabama, and he was having the owner still order vinyl. So like in 1994, he didn't want to buy CDs, and he was having the owner import albums through a catalog overseas because he refused to get into CDs unless it was absolutely not available on vinyl. So his collection was pretty insane. He had about 4 big rows of nothing but 90s and 2000s OG vinyl. And I've never met anybody still to this day that bought that much new. Okay, I have collections we've bought where people have collected it, but not like bought that much new like the original owner. I mean, he had like all the Nirvanas and the Alice in Chains and Bush and all those 90s artists and alternative rock, Jane's Addiction and Nine Inch Nails, and he had them. He was the first owner. He bought them new, so that was one of the more insane collections. And we went down there 3 different times and bought stuff from him, and those are his guitar picks. So that's at $16. Scorpions a $15 start. This is our first crate of new vinyl for the night. And we still got the Essential Wu-Tang Clan, a double LP, $36.99. The best of 13-4 elevators. We've sold one. There's one left, $29.99. Our next auction is the last Japanese pressing, which is Wham! Make It Big, in shrink, Obi, and nice copy, $35 start. Also, we have Harry Potter. There's the Deathly Hollows. That's a 2 LP clear vinyl for $39. Hannah Montana 3, $36.99. New Kids on the Block is $29.99. Tarzan on green vinyl, that is $36.99. Don't forget, I didn't even say anything the first time. Have y'all forgot this is Phil Collins? This is essentially a Phil Collins album, okay? Phil Collins on Tarzan. Don't forget Elton John does the Lion King music. $36.99. $36.99. That's green vinyl, and that's essentially a Phil Collins album. $36.99 on Tarzan. Jerry Stone on the 13-4 Elevators. Scorpions is OG VG Plus condition. OG VG Plus condition. Wham's a 35. That's the last one until more is delivered. And then, David, you can go ahead and lay your head on your pillow and go to sleep. We have the Half-Blood Prince. That's $39.99. Everclear is still available. That is a 25th anniversary Coke bottle clear. I still got 2. So, Blaine, they're still in stock. So, I really can't give you a waiting list, okay? And then right over here, this is $33.99. Disturbed, Down with the Sickness. I've got 2 of those. We got Alicia Keys Songs in A Minor, $39.99, and then Iron Maiden Killers is $33.99. The Skid Row guitar pick is at $18 with Ziggy Chaos. Now the Scorpions is at $15 with Robert Johnson. He's the only bidder. We're about to sell it, and no bid on Wham. Final call on that. Let's get right in the crate of new vinyl. And the first thing I'm going to go ahead and show you is a few more puzzles. I have Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. I've got Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. I've got Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark, and I have Run to the Hills. So Run to the Hills, Fear of the Dark, and the Number of the Beast. There's a few more puzzles from this big putback, okay? And Slayer Nation's out on the pick. I think it's just up to Patty. Patty, I think it's just up to you on the Skid Row pick. I'll make sure she hadn't already set out. Let's go ahead and grab a couple over here. And let's go through this next crate. Yeah, cool stuff here. Restocks, waiting list, etc., etc. Right, Jill? Right. Jill's in the back. That's my sister. She's still pulling people's orders. They're already shipping stuff from, let's see, they're already shipping stuff from today, right? Stuff that paid today. So yeah, we've got it down to a science all of a sudden. It took basically making sure, most of it's scheduling personnel. That's a very complicated thing when running a business, is having people, but also having people here at the right time and right place. Big science to all that, of course. All right, I'm kind of excited to see what kind of autographs Tanner dug out over here. Might go through some later tonight. Probably a lot of Hollywood memorabilia stuff from Fred, but we'll see. All right, the guitar pick, Wham, and some questions here, okay? The guitar pick is Skid Row. That's all it says, Skid Row, and of course, Ernie Ball, a manufacturer of guitar strings and guitar picks. Ziggy Chaos has it for $18, all right? That's a final call to him. Wham has one bid for $35. This is an OG Japanese pressing, near mint shrink hype Obi. George Scher on the Tarzan soundtrack. Now there's one left, and like I said, don't forget, that's essentially a Phil Collins album. That is $36.99. And that's on green vinyl, okay? Next thing I have is Albert King, Born Under a Bad Sign. This is amazing. To be all analog for just $34.99 for such a rare OG record, $34.99. What guitar player? I have no idea. It's not marked. It just says Skid Row. And then over here we got Scorpions. Scorpions is sold to Robert Johnson, one bid $15. And I have Michael Jackson Dangerous. This is a double picture disc. Michael Jackson Dangerous is $38.99. That's a double picture disc, $38.99 for Michael Jackson Dangerous. That is a double picture disc. It's available. Dropkick Murphys, the gang's all here. Dropkick Murphys is $29.99. That is available. I've got 2 of those. Ziggy Chaos gets the first of the guitar picks at $18. What I'm going to do is go lay these in here on this table so they don't get lost. And Tanner's probably going to put them like in a top loader or like a baseball card sleeve or something. That way they're easier to keep up with. And then here is Def Leppard. Phil Allen, right? Def Leppard. Very cool. $10 start on Def Leppard. Okay? That's up for bid. Next thing we have is this. We're going to keep going. I've got 2 copies of The Pleasure Principle, Gary Numan, here in my car. Gary Numan is $34.99, and I've got 2 Black Crows. This is a remastered Shake Your Money Maker, $34.99 on that. Where's my stack of sticky notes? Def Leppard is a $10 start. Let me lay this right over here, okay? There's that, and then Wham is sold for $35 to Christina Curtis, okay? That's sold to Christina Curtis. There's that. All right. Give me 1 second, please. Yeah, Phil Collen. C-O-L-L-E-E-N. C-O-L-L-E-N. Yeah. All right, there we go. Phil Collen. What did I say? Allen? Phil Collins. Sorry. I think I had Phil Collins on my name. Phil Collins. Phil Collins is his name. I think I said Phil Allen. Yes. I had to Google it over here. I was like, wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm correct on that one. Okay. We got it now. Now, next thing was no other claims. Let's grab another auction over here. And the next auction I have is New York Dolls. The New York Dolls is a U.S. Hop Hog reissue. No year known. It's on that label, so definitely a mid-70s, maybe late 70s, but not anything as early as the 80s. New York Dolls is a $15 start. The Def Leppard guitar pick is at $15. This is a new half-speed master of Wasp, the Headless Children. So they've been reissuing all of their albums as half-speed masters. Here's the next one, Headless Children, $33.99. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those available. I've already shown these puzzles, right? Yeah, Iron Maiden, Iron Maiden, Iron Maiden. Those are all done. And I think I've got 2 or 3 more over here. I do. Let's go ahead and show these. Hey, there we go. I already have Power Slave sold. We can give this to Scott Markheim. We can give this to Scott Markheim. Right there. Sold to Scott Markheim. He was on a waiting list. That's sold to him. And then we have Metallica, Ride the Lightning, Iron Maiden, The Trooper, and Slayer, South of Heaven. Those are all $24.99. All right, first thing we had over here was Def Leppard 20. We have Bret Michaels wig on Wasp. Scott Dwalla wants 1. And New York Dolls 15. Chad, GN, please. Chad, GN, that was for... GN was for G, good night. Chad, good night, please. I have Rancid. This is $29.99. This is their self-titled album. It is on limited edition anniversary splatter vinyl. And 2 copies of KC and the Sunshine Band Glitter Ball clear vinyl, $24.99 for KC and the Sunshine Band. Def Leppard guitar pick, 22, now 25. New York Dolls has 1 bid for 15, just FYI. Next auction is the best of George Harrison. This is actually a really cool release. It's got the best of his solo career, and it has the best of his Beatles work. And this is Gary Numan. Gary Numan. Okay, sorry. That went right over my head. I'm still waiting for all this blue juice to kick in. We have a pretty solid VG Plus copy. Awesome track listing. Just the other day, I said, I wish they'd put something like this in print, and then they did, but it's $60, and it doesn't include, like, studio cut of Beatles music, just live cuts. So if you can count on, if George, Paul, Ringo, John Lennon put out some kind of new material, if it's a double disc, it's going to be $50, $60, $70. Their catalog is just so expensive, new vinyl. That's an OG with a U.S. press with Beatles and his solo career. $15 start on that. All right, Kevin Voitosh wants Gary Numan. The Pleasure Principle, here in my car. There's now 1 left. I also have Spirit World, and this one is Heldorado. There was a waiting list for this. Limited edition sea blue smoke colored vinyl. Spirit World. Spirit World. And Spirit World was Chris Bacci, B-A-C-C Chris Bocci. Okay, so that's Spirit World Eldorado. I have 2 more left, I think, if anybody else wants one. The Dropkick Murphys I have in here, I have 3 Spirit Worlds left. That was popular Thursday night on Metal Night. This is Def Leppard at 30. The Dropkick Murphys is The Gang's All Here. That really cool World War II cover, $29.99. George Harrison's a $15 star. What year's the New York Dolls? There is no year given. Sometimes there's reissues and they don't know what year it was made. This is one of them. What they did is they used this label and that stamper for about 5 or 6 years, and so nobody can really track down what year it was made. So they just call it a U.S. reissue from Hauppauge. But you can look up when that label was used, which is mid-70s through the late 70s. There's no barcode. So this was probably made sometime in the mid-70s. That's about the closest you can get to it. It has 1 bid for $15 of James Allen. He's about to sell it. All right, and then over here is George Harrison, the best of George Harrison, Capitol Records, a compilation, amazing track listing, incredible track listing, a fantastic track listing, $15 start. I have 1 copy, 2 copies of The Strange Case of Hailstorm. Hailstorm is $29.99. $29.99 for Hailstorm. We have Rat now playing. This is essentially a Rat greatest hits. Round and Round, Wanted Man, Lay It Down, Lack of Communication, $24.99 on that. George Harrison, all of a sudden 15, 15, 15, and New York Dolls all of a sudden 16, 18, 20. The Def Leppard guitar pick is sold to Stanley Richmond for $30. Sold to Stanley Richmond for $30. Guitar pick number 2 is sold. Stanley Richmond, $30 on that. Okay? There's that, and there's that. Next thing I have is the following. Another guitar pick. Let's pick out another one here. Let's do... I don't know who that is. There's a lot I might need some help on, which I know y'all can definitely help me. They're either, I can't read the name in cursive, or I don't know the band logo. So obviously I'm going to the stuff I know right off the bat. Like this one's pretty cool. Dickie Betts. Dickie Betts. That is a $10 star. Dickie Betts from the Allman Brothers. That's going to go up for a $10 star. Very cool one there. That is going to go up for a $10 star. Next thing I have, was there any other claims? There was Todd Emick on Hailstorm. Thank you, Todd. That's so do you. And then over here, we got Chad Thompson on Rat. Thank you, Chad Thompson. That's so do you. And then down here at the bottom, we have... over here, we have the Yardbirds, For Your Love. The Yardbirds is $24.99. $24.99. The Struts, everybody wants the Struts. And this is $34.99. The Struts. And let me look this one up. STRUTTS. The waiting list for Struts was Natasha Pickett and Melissa Bailey. Thank you, Natasha Pickett, and thank you, Melissa Bailey. Okay? And now I have 2 left, I think. The Struts. There's 1 sold. There's 2 sold. There's 2 more there. The last bid on George Harrison. So there was a bid for 15 with topographic. Karen bid 15. And Karen didn't want to bid any more than 15. This is sold a topographic. Wow, I should have just left that in John's crate. That is much less than what John had it priced for. I thought that was going to do very well, but it didn't. So that's done. And then over here, we have Dickie Betts now at $15. And that's the guitar pick right here. And then the New York Dolls that I'm holding, that's at $27 with Troy Overmeyer. Eazy-E, the AC/DCs, those are about 1 hour away. Don't go to bed. Go ahead and put away all of your dishes. Hopefully you've got you're done cooking supper and you're zoned in. Next, I've got more of the OG copies of David Lee Roth's Skyscraper. Yeah, these are OG pressings, new from distribution. They all have saw marks on them. They're all going to have saw marks because they're cutouts. They're old stock, $28.99 on that. Next thing, What is the Dickie Betts record? It's not. It is a guitar pick. I'll show it again in just a second. But right now, I have going up a... Oh, let me go up front and get that other crate of auctions. Let me find this. I think I got one more thing over here. Yeah, let me step up here and get that other crate. Okay, let me do that. I think Seth marked, quote, the miscellaneous. And boy, we love miscellaneous stuff. I love miscellaneous stuff. There's that, there's that. Oh my gosh. I love miscellaneous stuff. I got a whole crate of auctions here. This should be good. I said, Seth, what did you mark? He said, some metal, some rock, a lot of metal and rock. I was like, okay. I wonder if Brian Reynolds is still watching. Hopefully he is, because I'm about to ask him if he still wants this right here. All right, let's put this up. Let me find it. We got, up for auction right now, a copy of Van Halen 2. This is a 1979 U.S. Los Angeles press with the original under sleeve, EX Plus condition. Cover is probably about VG, a $25 start on Van Halen. Okay, now, Dickie Betts was at $17. Herbie Hancock, I'll put it up in 3 minutes. I'll go ahead and do Herbie Hancock right now. We have Dickie Betts 2022, Dickie Betts 25, Dickie Betts 30, 32. I've got 2 copies of Urge Overkill Saturation. Saturation's $33.99. And then Clutch is $59.99. Clutch is Robot Hive Exodus. Clutch. Robot Hive Exodus. C-L-U-T-C-H. Clutch. And the waiting list for this was Darren Chrisman and Scott Dwallow. Darren Chrisman and Scott Dwallow was on a waiting list. This is Robot Hive Exodus, a bonus 7-inch with 2 additional tracks, remastered audio, limited edition, 2 LP colored vinyl, artist autograph numbered insert, $59.99. The New York Dolls has a new bid for $30. That's this vintage reissue from the mid-70s. It just got a new bid for $30. Van Halen's at $25, and the Dickie Betts guitar pick is at $35. It's up to Calvin Ward, okay? I've got 2 copies of Clutch left, and then here is Trouble, Manic Frustration. Trouble is $29.99. There was a waiting list for Trouble, in case you didn't hear. There was a waiting list for Trouble, and the waiting list for Trouble was Alonzo Breezy Brinsnow Jr. This is sold to Alonzo Breezy Brinsnow Jr. Trouble, right here, sold, done. Laura has Herbie Hancock in the back. There we go. So no Herbie Hancock in 3 minutes. It's still being cleaned, researched, etc. Received, missing a cover. Wow. They shipped us a second copy of Trouble, and they didn't give us a jacket. They just shipped us a loose disc. Can y'all believe that? They just shipped us a loose disc, and they didn't give us a jacket. What in the world's going on in some of these warehouses? They obviously have people who know nothing about vinyl shipping some of this stuff. This is why you don't also order from Amazon or Walmart, okay? Because there's people packing your records that doesn't know the Beatles from, you know, Cattle Decapitation. We have New York Dolls 32, David Bowie 37. Harry Potter Deathly Hallows sold to Stacey Brown. What I'm just saying is some people working doesn't know a lot about music that's packing some of these orders. Just saying. They obviously are like, what is this? Just a disc. They don't realize they're actually shipping a record. David Bowie's at 40. And Van Halen is over here at $25, and that's a final call. And John Oliver wants a Clutch. So did John Oliver. Thank you. All right, here we go. I actually signed up one time to take to tour one of those Amazon facilities because I wanted to walk through there and see how they did everything. And then they stopped doing it. Like I signed up for like a tour. This was like in 2021 maybe. They used to do, like you could just tour them. They would just give tours to everybody. I was like, well, dang, I want to go in there and watch how they do all that stuff. And, you know, like, I might see some people in there and be like, hey, do you want to come pack stuff for Coletco? Probably some pretty good people in there that I could be like, hey, do you want to come work at Coletco instead? We have John Oliver on clutch and New York Dolls. The last bid was Troy Overmeyer at $32, okay? James Allen, you're back out. He went out on the guitar pick, and this is sold to Brent Robley for $35. Don't worry, I've got about 30 more over here to run. That's sold to Brent, all right? There's that. Let's put this right over here with the others. Pretty sweet there. Dickie Betts. We'll probably need to write whoever's tagging the show, write on the sticky note who the guitar pick is so they can find them and shipping easier. All right, and then this is sold to Brian Reynolds. Thank you, Brian Reynolds. This is sold to you for $25, okay? Next thing is Billy Joel. Brian, do you still need 2 of these? Do you still need 2 of these, Brian? This is Greatest Hits, Volume 1 and 2, new and sealed, $38.99. Anybody else want one? I still have them. Let's breeze through these again. New York Dolls is sold to Troy Overmeyer for $32. All right, let's pick out another guitar pick over here. I'm going to do one that I don't know what it is, okay? And then we'll figure it out together. This looks like a Scorpion, so I'm assuming it's from the Scorpions. I'm just not as familiar. Let me look up Scorpions band members. I mean, I know a couple, but I want to confirm. I mean, I know like Shanker, but this isn't. Claus Mean, maybe? No. What's that say? No, that's a vocalist. I need to get a list of Scorpions band members. It might not even be the Scorpions. There's a Scorpion on it. Okay, there's a Scorpion on it. And it looks like it starts with a K. I'm scrolling through here. Former members. Uli. Yeah, I mean, I knew some of those big names, but I didn't know this one. Kenny. I don't know. I'm scrolling through Wikipedia right now. There's a Claus, but that's the vocalist. Looks like Olsen almost. I don't see any former members either with a K. I have no idea. It's a Scorpions logo, and then it looks like Kenny, maybe. That's Kenny Olsen from Kid Rock. Okay, there we go. I had a feeling there's a lot of Kid Rock stuff over here. There's that one. So let me put another one with that one. I think this is also Kid Rock related. Maybe. I think that was wasn't that a Kid Rock cover? I think that was a Kid Rock cover too. And I don't know who that is. Kraus? That looks familiar though. I remember seeing that cover. But I'm going to put both those together. I think that's Kid Rock related too. We'll say a $10 start, okay? Brian Reynolds wants both Billy Joels, okay? Those are both sold to Brian Reynolds. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other comments. Pickle wanted the last clutch. Pickle gets the last clutch. Thank you on that one. All right. And then we sold one to John Oliver, one to Pickle. We sold both of those. Chad got a sealed Red Hot Chili Pepper Walmart exclusive from Laura. Credit feedback. Tried playing it on Sunday, and it was a garbage press. Beware on that. Thank you. And, of course, you can reach out to Ed. We can give you a refund on that one. And First Kiss. Yeah, so we'll say 2 Kid Rock picks, $10 start on those, okay? 2 Kid Rock picks. Here, I'll put a third one with it. This one's also that same artist. Kraus, I think he played with Kid Rock too. Jason Kraus from Kid Rock Band. Yeah, there's another one. So make that 3 Kid Rock picks. Jason Kraus, Kenny Olsen, and I'm picking through these to try to find more over here. Here's another one. There's another one with that Scorpion. So that one was definitely played and flicked out to the crowd. That is 4 there. 4 Kid Rock picks, $10 start on those. All right, now let's get back over here to our auctions. The first thing I have is, let's go ahead and throw up MoFi Ray Charles, okay? Time to get into some of the advertised auctions. It's now past 7 o'clock. Here we go. The Genius Sings the Blues. Ray Charles. A 2010 U.S. reissue MoFi, numbered with insert, $30 start. $30 start. We will figure out all these guitar picks together. There's some good ones over here for sure that I probably haven't figured out yet. I see two right here for sure we're going to do next. That one and that one. Cheap Trick. And I think we got more Kid Rock stuff over here. This guy was a huge Kid Rock fan. Huge Kid Rock fan. All right, so very quickly on a recap here. Albert King, Born Under a Bad Sign. This is a classic blues album. And if you want a true OG, you're going to be searching for a while. It's all analog, $34.99. I've got two Michael Jackson Dangerous, which that is a tough OG to find, mostly because it came out in like 91. Yeah, 1991. It's a double LP, $39.99. That's a double picture disc. And then Gary Newman, The Pleasure Principle. Gary Newman is $34.99. The Pleasure Principle, okay? I have two of those. That has his big song, Here in My Car. The Black Crowes, a classic album, 30th anniversary, remaster, Jealous Again, Could Have Been So Blind, Hard to Handle, Thick and Thin, $34.99. And Wasp, The Headless Children. Wasp, their fourth studio album, a half-speed master. This comes out Friday. This should be new for Friday, the half-speed master. There's been all kinds of different Wasp here lately. Colored vinyl, half-speed masters, this, that. Kid Rock over here is at $18 and now $20. $20 with Stanley Richmond, okay? The Ray Charles MoFi, I've never had that before to my knowledge. If I have, it wasn't like in stock or anything. I may have had one through an auction or something, but it hasn't been in stock since I've been selling MoFi. Ryan Eaton has it for $30. I've also got two copies of Rancid. That's on colored vinyl, $29.99. A great compilation here, great music. KC and the Sunshine Band. That's the way I like it. I'm your boogie man. Boogie Shoes, $24.99. Also, Spirit World, I figured we'd sell out of these again. Heldorado, limited edition Sea Blue Smoke, $33.99 on Heldorado. Dropkick Murphys is still available, $29. Hailstorm, The Strange Case of, $29. We have Rat, now playing, which is a greatest hits for just $24. The Yardbirds, For Your Love. I thought Jerry Stone would buy that. Something kind of that is in print that I haven't ordered before. $24.99. Are you saying MG's OG? No. There is OG pressings of this, so this is just a reissue. It's not being made, though, on vinyl anymore, just a picture disc. $39.99. Chad Snyder on Hailstorm, and that is sold to Chad Snyder. I have the Struts. Everybody wants the Struts. $34 on that. David Lee Roth Skyscraper, $28. You can get an OG copy of Dangerous. Yeah, those do exist. That's just a reissue. Over here is Urge Overkill. That's $33.99. Trouble, I do have one actually with a cover left. This is $29.99, and then one Harry Potter left, $39 on that, okay? Ryan Eaton, you're outbid on Ray Charles, and the Kid Rock picks are at $25 with Brent. Mark White, you tied. Hold on, man, the feed is messed up, I think. Mark White, you tied Brent Robley. A lost video. That's not good. Test 1, 2. There was something beeping over here earlier. Yeah. Oh, great. Okay, so Laura just brought me her laptop, and she's frozen. Something was beeping over here like I was getting notifications, and my Mac Mini never gets notifications. Let me refresh this and see what happens over here. It says we're streaming. Okay, give it a second. Let that reset for a second. That always sucks, right? Let me let that reset over here. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Yeah, it's a YouTube issue. It's a YouTube issue. I'm still here, or it's a Facebook issue. We need to tag Ronnie Ritchie for a Stevie Nicks and put him on a waiting list for Etta James. Ronnie Ritchie got a Stevie Nicks. Chad, if you're in trouble, if so, shake your head yes. I'm being held against my will. I've had some people show up, hold me hostage. Give me all your Pablo Cruz records. All right. This is, so to Ronnie Ritchie, that was our last Belladonna. Okay, so let me go back to the top. Is Facebook working now? Is Facebook working now? I've tried refreshing Facebook and the feed is buffering. It's definitely Facebook then. What I'll have to do is just, I'll give it a few more seconds, but I don't know. I mean, usually if it crashes there, it crashes everywhere. It could be a Facebook problem tonight or right now. So no waiting list for Etta James. Okay, no waiting list. Yeah, I just clicked on Facebook, Hattori, and I saw your comments. And Jerry Stone had just bought that. By the way, Jerry Stone also wants the Yardbirds. That is sold to Jerry Stone. Thank you, Jerry. And I can still pull stuff because they rewatch this video on YouTube every morning, so it records it and saves it there. Okay, so dang it. Now I'm getting notifications like Facebook might have ended. Has it ended? Yeah, I think they've killed our feed. All right, I got to restart the whole thing. I'm going to end the feed, and I've got to start a whole new stream. So let's write this down. If somebody could write this down, maybe here, I'll write it down too. And we had the high bid, I got to start a whole new stream because it's killed it on Facebook. It's ended it now. So Ray Charles was Michael Nath at 35. And the backup bidder was Ryan Eaton, okay? And that was the high bid, okay? And that was with Michael Nath, CM. And then the Kid Rock picks was Brent at 25. And Brent at 25. And the other bidders was Mark White and Stanley Richmond. Mark White and Stanley R, okay? That's my shorthand there. And yeah, it has ended the video on Facebook. Yeah, everything's going to restart. So there'll be it'll say part 2. It'll say part 2. And everything will end and it'll be a whole new stream, okay? So, yeah, because see, it's kicked us off. I'm starting to get comments like this, so it's kicked us off and it's literally ended the feed. So there must have been a glitch with the Facebook server.